Hello friends, good morning. You are catching me on a Friday morning in bed because I am in fact sick. I have been sick for like the last week. Shout out to my bestie Rachel. No, I'm just kidding. I don't think she gave it to me. I think it was like a combination of her and my mom and a bunch of other people I was around that were sick. But I am in fact sick nonetheless. So I had yesterday off work, and did nothing. I just laid around. I did go to the doctor, and my dog is like trying to decide if she wants to get on the bed or not. Junie, you can get up. Yes. 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 Okay, well, maybe she'll decide to do that. Anyway, I didn't really do anything yesterday. I didn't read at all. I broke my Fable streak, actually, and I'm really disappointed about that because I was going strong for the month of February, but that's okay. Sometimes we just have to rest, don't we? Yeah. Anyway, so I figured while I'm useless, rotting in bed, Junie, she's like licking the tripod. So if I'm shaking, that's why. Hold on. Okay, anyway, I figured while I'm useless, rotting in bed, I would get a little bit of reading done since mentally I'm feeling a little bit better today. Like my head is not like pounding as much. So I thought I'd just do a little reading vlog for you guys for this weekend and just maybe see like how much I can get done reading while I'm sick. So I have my Kindle here. I finished, Judy wants to say hello. Can you say hello? I finished From Blood and Ash. Loved it. I think I gave it a 4.25. Somewhere in there. Like, it wasn't a 5-star. Mainly because it was just like somewhat predictable. Like, I did predict the ending. Not all of it. There was definitely some things that were not predictable, but I did predict a good bit of what was going to happen in the end. So that just like bumped it a little bit down from a 5 for me personally. Because it did have a lot of like stereotypical kind of fantasy tropes in it. Not that I'm like mad at that. It just like, it didn't like shock me, wow me, you know, it didn't elicit that like 5-star feeling, you know? So I immediately picked up the second one, which is A Kingdom of Flesh and Fire on my Kindle. By the way, this is my Kindle for anybody wondering. We've got Daddy Harry. Just a little like skin thing on it. Skin sticker thing. I hate that they're called skins. That's kind of creepy, but anyway. So I immediately downloaded this. I should be working on my February TBR, but I'm not. I've been reading this, and it's been really good. I'm currently smack dab in the middle of Your Knife, My Heart and Love Hypothesis, and I need to finish both of those by the end of February, and I haven't even started Blue Sisters. So I'm hoping that this weekend maybe we can like get through a lot of the books that I've been wanting to get through. I am currently 48% through, sorry, what is this one called? Hold on. It's like A Kingdom of Flesh and Fire. So I'm like 48% through that. So I'm really thinking maybe I can finish this today. It's currently 11:15 in the morning. It says I have 6 hours left in this book. I feel like that always is like too long. We're like halfway through, so yeah, I'm hoping maybe we can finish this today, and then maybe we can start Blue Sisters. I probably should, instead of starting Blue Sisters, I probably should finish Your Knife, My Heart. Where are we at in that one? Let's see where we are. Oh, we're 67% through Your Knife, My Heart, so I'm not worried about that. We're like almost done with that one. I'll probably, once I finish Kingdom of Flesh and Fire, that will be like my nighttime reading book, and then I'll let this be like my daytime reading book. I kind of like to have like 2-ish books that I'm working on, and then I like to have a book that I read at work when it's like kind of slow. And I think let Love Hypothesis be that book, mainly because it's really lighthearted and pretty easy to read. But my current thoughts are loving Your Knife, My Heart. I think that it's so much better than Leave Me Behind. Now, given I'm right at the point where Leave Me Behind started like devolving, so we'll see if hopefully Your Knife My Heart does not do that. And we'll see what my rating is. And then for my little extra book, Kingdom of Flesh and Fire. Okay. Anyway, I'm really loving Kingdom of Flesh and Fire. I am really hoping the momentum of this like continues, because I've heard a lot of mixed reviews about this series in general, and I think people start saying it devolves at like the third book, which is just gonna be so sad if that's true, because so far I'm like obsessed and I'm loving it. I love the male main character. I don't want to say too much because I know that, okay, well, that was gonna be a spoiler. See, I'm really bad at not spoiling things. I love the male main character. I love how he like evolves over time. I love their banter. You get so much of it in the first book, and yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. I love it. I love them, and whenever I finish this, maybe I'll do a little spoiler section to give like all my thoughts. But anyway, I'm just gonna read. I'm gonna chill, and I think I am gonna start with Kingdom of Flesh and Fire, because I am at kind of a interesting spot and I do not want to put it down. So all right, I'm gonna shut up and just get to reading, and you can enjoy. Hopefully we'll be able to kind of chat if any kind of, can I have this? She always like lays on top of my blankets. Anyway, we can chat if any kind of like interesting things happen. I have coffee to keep me sustained. I have my water to keep me hydrated. Actually, I do need to take my pill, but I'm not gonna do that right now. And I have my box of tissues, so we're set. I don't think I need to move from this spot. Maybe for the next 6 hours until I finish this. We'll see how long it takes. So, all right, chapter 22. Let's go. am like, this is like a tiny spoiler, so if you are like very anti-spoiler, you know what to do. But when is she gonna stop pretending she doesn't like him? When is she gonna stop being surprised that he's sleeping in her bed? You know what I mean? Or in their bed. They're engaged. Like, when... Okay, I guess this is kind of a big spoiler. So, actually, full-on skit. Okay, yeah, they're engaged. So, like, why are you surprised? You share a room. Why? This is, like, the 10th night they've slept together. And she still wakes up and she's like, oh my gosh, he's in my bed, cuddling me. I'm like, girl, yeah. Enjoy it, you know? You guys, okay, can somebody please tell me what the fuck is going on? Because she literally woke up, okay, I was just ranting about this. She woke up in his bed. She was like, oh my gosh, why is he cuddling me? Da 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 da. Okay, also, spoiler. I'm sorry, I have to talk about this book, and it's the second one, so there's gonna be spoilers. Anyway, okay, so then she's like, I have to move, like, we're just pretending, like, he can't know that I, like, am enjoying him cuddling me, da 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 da. Okay, so she goes to move, and then he like basically attacks her, but like in a sexy way. Like he like pins her down on the bed, and then one thing leads to another. He starts eating her out. Okay, she's like screaming with pleasure. And then tell me why, how do you say his name? Kieran? That's how I've been saying it. If that's not how you say it, then whatever, correct me. But Kieran comes in. What, like right after she finishes, and he goes, I heard you scream. Dude. Oh my god. And then he says, obviously I misread the situation. Oh my god. He like blacked out. He's in like a sexual blackout or something. His eyes are like pitch black apparently. And now he's like snarling at Kieran, and Kieran's like, oh, I warned you this would happen. I'm literally reading as I'm like updating you. Oh my god. Now he's like attacking. Okay. Now she's like using her gift to calm him down. Oh no, she's like reading his emotions. He's like ashamed. You guys. This is also probably like the worst clip ever because I had like just taken down my little like setup because I was like, oh, I'm not gonna like record like a 5-hour time lapse of me reading because who cares. Okay, sorry, my eyes just skipped on the page. I'm so all over the place. Okay, if you know, you know. He literally came out of his little stupor because she like connected to him and was like basically like took his pain or whatever she does, and he like wakes up and goes, honeydew, and then flees. What the actual fuck? I'm sorry. What the actual fuck? Girl, me too. She's like, I can't believe what just happened. Yeah, me too. What the hell? Yeah, girl, you have lost your mind. Oh, Karen's worried about her. He's like, did he hurt you? Okay, I'm also like kind of convinced there's gonna be a 3-way situation because when you look up fan art, tell me why it has all 3 of them. Tell me why it's got Castile, Poppy, and Kieran. You know? Anyway, I'm gonna keep reading. I'll chime back in when I figure out what the fuck just happened, okay? BRB. Okay, theory. Okay. So Kieran just said that he was very possessive. That's why he was gonna attack him. He was possessive of Poppy. And she was like, oh, because he wants to feed from me. And then he was like, no, because, or did he bite you? And she's like, no. And then he's like, yeah, probably because of whatever, you know, morning activities you guys were doing, which we know what that was. But I'm wondering, I'm having a theory like form now that maybe, because she said that whenever she read his emotions, he was starving. I'm wondering if they're mates, because I've had a theory that they are mates since he decided to marry her and not barter her. And then when Kieran was like, oh my god, sorry, I have hiccups. I think it was Kieran who was like, oh, you're the, like, you don't have anything to fear from him. And I was like, okay, I think they're mates. And now I'm wondering if he can only feed from a mate because the Atlanteans need to feed on other Atlanteans. interesting. Also, I lost a nail. I'm probably gonna fix it today or maybe tomorrow, but I'm kind of trying to decide if I want to fix it or if I want to take them off and do another set. Anyway, that's a tangent, but anyway, that's my little running theory. So I think I'm gonna let you guys go. I'm gonna keep reading. If anything else happens, I'll clock back in. So okay, side note though, I love Kieran. He's so cute. I just love them. He was like, are you hungry right now? And then he was like, or would you like to see the bay? And she was like, the bay. Good. Kieran turned and opened the door. He's so sweet. Like, he's just like takes such good care of her. And like, I get part of it. Sorry, this is so shaky. I'm just holding it. I get that like part of her can't forgive them for what they did, but at the same time, I'm kind of like, girl, you're living in a kingdom full of people dying every day. Like, that's life. Like, we need to move on. You obviously love them. You obviously need to like have a three-way. You know what I'm saying? So like, just do it, you know? Okay, so I think I was right. Kieran thinks that they're heartmates, which is obviously just mates. Tell me why she has 1,000 questions about literally everything until it comes to Castile, and then she's like, I don't want to know what heartmates is. Don't want to know. It's too complicated. I'm like, girl, that would be my first question. But anyway, I digress. Things are spicy out. Hello, friends, and good morning. It is now Sunday. I think the last time we talked was Friday, and I was freaking out about the, what is it? Oh my god, why can I not remember the name of this book? A Kingdom of Flesh and Fire, thank you. I did in fact finish this on Friday. It got really late, and me and Trevor, my husband, were just like laying in bed and reading, so I didn't want to be filming. But, oh my goodness, I think I did literally, I think I remember saying that I had 6 hours left, and I was like, no way, like I feel like we're so close. No, in fact, we did have 6 hours left. There was so much left to talk about and to look at and to like go through. Sorry, I've just woken up. Okay, this is not the one I meant to grab, but obviously updating you is my immediate, responsibility. But I have an Alani here. This is Watermelon Wave. I'm normally not like an energy drink girly. If I am, usually it's like a Red Bull, like a sugar-free. But yeah, that's really good. Oh. Wow. I know my face doesn't look like I like it, but it's just, this is why I'm not normally an energy drink girly, because this like, first thing, like upon waking, like it like is making me like tear up, like, oh my god. It's good though. Anyway, okay, sorry, what I was trying to say is there's still a lot to like uncover in this book, and dear Lord, did we uncover it, because oh my god, that ending, if you know, you know. I'm not going to be saying a lot. I did a whole spoiler section on some of my reactions in like the middle, and you can just like let me know in the future if you enjoy a spoiler section or if you don't, if you like me to kind of chat through my thoughts or not. But I do think that I am still kind of surprised that there are people who critique this series. My biggest critique of, well, first I gave this 4.5 star, and my biggest critique and the biggest reason for me that it wasn't a 5 star is because I felt like there was a couple of times where the storyline got a little bit repetitive, like where there was, maybe some problem solving that needed to happen, and there would be like, maybe like baby steps took towards solving it, but like nothing major was happening. And I feel like they would have really productive conversations that would have made me feel like I was resolving a problem, and then the same like miscommunication trope would continue to happen. I think that's what it is. It was a big miscommunication trope. Now, I think they like tried to avoid a typical miscommunication trope by having the characters talk a lot, but often they would be talking a lot about nothing. And that just like really got on my nerves, especially when it's one of those situations where if they just said what they were thinking, it would like resolve the issue. Now, it didn't ruin the book for me. In fact, I was rooting for them the whole time, and I do think the problem solving at the end makes it worth it, in the sense of like, you don't have one of those situations where there's like a big third act breakup and then they are like, you know, it like completely derails the story just because they wouldn't communicate. Like, they're very much on the same page about where the story's going. It's just about kind of a secondary issue between the two main characters. I did think this book in particular, compared to the last one, was so funny. I love so many of the side characters. I think whenever you have a lot of side characters, it can be risky because you need to be able to form an emotional connection, especially to ones that are side characters, but they are pretty prevalent in the story. You do need to be able to form a connection to them, and one book series I love that I think does it really well is Throne of Glass, because by the end you like really do almost love every single character. At least I did. And so I think that I'm always kind of like measuring books with a lot of side characters to that, or like Fourth Wing. Fourth Wing's a good example as well, where you really just kind of like fall in love with all the side characters. But yeah, I really did. I felt connected to them. There's this one theme kind of throughout the book that also feels a little bit repetitive to me, and it has to do with like trust and people trusting our main female character. And a lot of people don't, even though she's like proven herself multiple times, and that really frustrated me. I'm sure it was supposed to frustrate you, and as it's frustrating our main character, and she's like, what else do I need to do to gain your trust? But it did feel very much like hating just to hate, and maybe that, I'm just gonna adjust this real quick. Okay, that's better. Okay, sorry, it did feel a lot like just like hating her to hate her, and maybe that's the point, because I know like in real life things don't necessarily just make sense. Like, people don't make the logical decision, and a lot of times people do just hate people because they're afraid or they don't understand or whatever. But that just like really bothers me, and so it was like some of those parts were like really hard to get through, and there was pieces of it where I felt I wanted our like MMC to like fight for her and like fight back for her. I understand why in some cases he didn't, and in some cases he really did. Like, don't get me wrong, he definitely is the type that's like, if you say her name or like you disrespect her, like I'm gonna rip your head off, like that kind of thing. So like, I'm not necessarily faulting him. I just think, I don't know. It was that was like the only two things in the book that made me not give it a 5-star. But other than that, like the plot was very interesting. I was engaged the entire time. We do a big kind of like journey from one place to another, which is really exciting. I always enjoy that, getting to like see the scenery and how an author writes scenery. And I think she, what is this? Jennifer L. Armentrout. I think she writes scenery really well. I was like fully engaged. I was like visualizing as things were happening, and like I said, all I did Friday is read this book pretty much while I was like really sick in bed. I'm feeling a little better now. I think you can probably hear it in my sinuses a little bit. I'm still like a little congested, but yesterday I didn't really record anything because I didn't really do much, and I really was kind of just almost like mentally resting and kind of you know, not really engaging. I pretty much just laid in bed, and then we ran a couple errands, but aside from that I didn't really do anything. So yeah, I binged the ending of this because I had to know, and I'm very excited to start the next one. I would have immediately started it if I didn't have a TBR that was calling my name, and I have a really hard time not completely fulfilling a TBR if I have started it. So yesterday, if I can find where the hell I put it, started Blue Sisters. Hey guys, it is now Monday. I did not end up reading any of Blue Sisters yesterday. I just wanted to check back in on that. I think where we left off, I said I was going to run some errands and then read. I did not end up doing that. Our errands ended up taking a lot longer, and I was still kind of just recovering from being sick. So I did end up kind of just resting. I took a little nap and then did a little bit more cleaning, cooked some dinner, hung out with Trevor, and then just ended up going to bed. So didn't do a lot of reading yesterday. I did read about 2 chapters of Your Knife, My Heart last night, and I'm almost done with that. I think I'm at like 73%. So an update on my thoughts for that one. will be coming soon. But I thought I would go ahead and just check in because I am gonna go ahead and just read a little bit more of this tonight. I haven't, like I said, read anymore, so I'm still just on chapter 2, but I am really excited to dive back in. So I think I just set up a little background ambiance, and I have my, here, let me see if I can grab this. Oh, there we go. I have my little reading buddies, and put this back. Hello friends, I wanted to check in. I think the last time we spoke, I was reading Blue Sisters. I will be honest, I put so much effort into finishing that book, and ultimately I think I am semi-softy and effing it. I kind of transitioned from reading it physically to listening to the audiobook, and I really thought that was going to kind of like pick me up and kind of carry me through to the end. But I will just be so honest. I'm slouching so much. I will just be so honest. I am not like itching to like pick it up, and it is a very heavy book. So because of those reasons, I kind of am just gonna wait until I'm in the mood and then listen to it. I think that I definitely will finish it. I am enjoying it. It's not like a lack of enjoyment. It's more like current lack of interest, I guess, if that makes sense. Which that's nothing to the author and more to the topics that are in the book. I think I should have probably predicted that it would be a little heavy for me before starting it, but I really went in fairly blind, and I didn't realize how much like grief and pain all the sisters were going to be experiencing. So just a little trigger warning if you decide to pick that book up, because it definitely is a bit heavier than I originally thought it was going to be. So kind of softy enough that for now, I think I got about halfway through. I can check for certain, but yeah, I think I got about halfway through and I've decided to softy enough. So instead I ended up picking up, and I've taken the dust jacket off, but I picked up the 3 Lives of Kate K yesterday, and oh my goodness, I obviously am enjoying it because I'm halfway through already. Before even updating you guys, I did get a little clip of me reading, but I was feeling kind of somber, kind of relaxing, so I decided to not intro it and thought I was just gonna read a little bit, and ended up flying through it. A few updates already. Wow, these characters. There are definitely some flawed characters in this book. Specifically, if we want to talk about let's see, let me nail down exactly what chapters I want to talk about. Okay, found them. Chapter 11. Holy shit. If you know, you know, because what the actual fuck is going on in this chapter? I talk about a flawed character. I'm not going to say too much, but when you read this, that is like the turning point in the book. Before I got to chapter 11, I'm not going to say not interested, but I wasn't like hooked. I read chapter 11, which is about 50 pages in. Hooked. That's why I ended up reading from chapter 11 all the way to, where am I now? Let's see. Chapter 29. So I was like, I stopped at 29. I read 28 chapters right after like that. I was like, I cannot put this book down. Then you get to chapter 20, different character, equally flawed. Maybe, honestly, you know what? No, okay. I was going to say maybe even more flawed, but I feel like they're flawed in different ways. I'm very, very interested to see how the character in chapter 20 ends up, because I almost feel like
chapter 11 was coming from a bit of a place of panic and hysteria, and I feel like chapter 20 was calculated. And so if and when you read this, I would love to know your thoughts, because I was reading this and like whenever I was like reading this chapter, I wish I got it on camera. I was like, I had to fully stop, wake Trevor up, and be like, do you like, you have to read this book. Like, you have to read this book. And then by the time I got to chapter 20, I was like, are you gonna read it? And he was like, I don't think so. And I was like, can I please spoil it for you? And I had to sit there and recount the whole book to him, because I was just like, what have I just read? Genuinely. So please let that like encourage you to pick this book up, because I am genuinely so impressed with this author. First of all, this is written like a memoir. So essentially our character, Kate K, is an author, and this book is a memoir that she's essentially writing / accumulating stories about her life for. So within the book, we get like clips of the books that she's written. So you can see like here, so it says Kate K, the very last, and then it like this whole section here is the book she wrote. In the book written about her, being written by her as a memoir, if that makes sense. So it's like books within books within books, and I'm loving it. It sounds really confusing, but they make it very straightforward in this. But yeah, it's very interesting. Like every element of this book kind of ties into the central mystery. So you'll learn, like you'll read a clip from the very last, which is the main book that Kate K has written. So you'll read a clip from the very last, and then you'll get like a little bit of a flashback scene to Kate's childhood or something like that. And you'll be like, okay, I see we're pulling from personal experience, even down to like some of the really tiny details that you'll pick up on that kind of get like foreshadowed in the beginning is very interesting. I currently think I'm gonna plan to try to finish this by tomorrow, because I would love to read one more book in this vlog. So I figured I would just set my camera up. I have a really cutesy like background. I have my fireplace going. We're going through a bit of a like cold snap where I live, so I've got my heated blanket. Trevor's picking up dinner, so I figure while we wait for the food, we will just relax and read and try to figure out what the hell's going on in this book. So anyway, come with me. Let's do a little ambient reading. Okay, I'm like a couple chapters off from finishing The Secret Lives of KK or whatever it's called. Oh, The Three Lives of KK, sorry. And I just want to say, I totally called this plot point. I don't want to go like too many spoilers, obviously, but let me just say, when someone makes a call and it startles someone else to leave a place, I knew why that call was made. That's all I'm gonna say, okay? And I'm very happy with myself because I knew it and I called it, and I should have said something when I was calling it, but I like didn't even know how to articulate it without spoilers. So I'm saying now, I was right. Okay, hello guys. I am coming to you after finishing The Three Lives of KK, and I have a lot of thoughts. Like I literally just read the last page, so I haven't digested this at all. I think that this book kind of got me out of a bit of a reading slump. I'm still working on balancing creating content with like mood rating, setting TBRs, those kinds of things. I've never been a big TBR person, but I'm trying to be a little bit more intentional about what I'm reading, while also, like I said, balancing mood reading. So this book is on my March TBR. I'm very glad I got to it. This is kind of coming off the tails of soft DNFing Blue Sisters, which felt like a bit of an internal failure for me. One, because it was my like Bella's Book Babes book club book, and I also just like I really thought I would thoroughly enjoy it and like eat it up, but I really struggled with the like type of grief and like everything they were going through. As somebody with sisters, it was especially challenging to kind of read from that point of view. Anyway, back to Three Lives of KK. I think I'm gonna settle. I'm kind of going anywhere between a 3.5 and a 4. What makes me want to give it a 4 is how interesting this book is constructed. I feel like if I described it to you, which I kind of did in a previous clip, saying that it's basically like a fictional book written like a memoir with clips of our authors writing like in the book. Anyway, it's very interesting. And I don't feel like it was confusing at all. I felt like it was very clear. I really liked the writing. I really enjoyed the story overall. I loved how you basically get this framework of Annie and Amanda in the beginning of the book, and seeing the thread of that kind of carry through to the end was very interesting. And I feel like we got a couple little like mini foreshadowing or like little mystery plot points throughout that made it just so much more interesting. I think what's making me lean maybe a little bit to a 3.5 is I feel like there was so much lead up and then very little resolution. Like I feel like the lead up was like this much of the book, and then the resolution was like that much of the book. And I think I would have liked maybe like the lead up to be somewhere like not even crazy that much more, but like I would have just loved a few more chapters of resolution. We kind of had two storylines wrapping at the end of the book, and the like resolution in those two storylines was squeezed into one like 4-page chapter, which I just didn't feel like was enough. I wanted to see the moments, I wanted to hear the moments, I wanted to hear the conversations, I wanted to see the reactions. There was one really big resolution. Well, there was one resolution we didn't even get to see through the eyes of our main character. We kind of got it almost epilogue style. And then there was one resolution that we were waiting for the entire book, and we also got that one kind of epilogue style. We did see some interactions between the characters, and I think I kind of understand that like essentially by the time the resolution is happening, each character has kind of processed it on their own, so there probably was not a ton to process together, but I still would have liked to see the interaction, especially just with so much lead up, so much mystery, I guess you could say. And yeah, I feel like that's what made me leave feeling a little disappointed. So maybe I'll settle on a 3.75. I think that feels really good. I would definitely recommend it, especially if you like literary fiction, especially if you like mystery. I think this kind of falls somewhere between. It's very character driven. So if you are not connected to our characters, this book is not going to be for you. But I think if you can get invested in the characters and invested in the story, then you'll really like this. I do really hate that there's one specific character in here that is incredibly flawed and makes some horrible, just malicious choices towards our main character. And I really hate that we never see them have a conversation about that, because I really wanted to see just a confrontation, honestly, because the entire time I was wanting to confront this one character and be like, what is wrong with you? Genuinely, why would you do that? So yeah, I think some of those reasons is why I would do it a 3.75. But at the end of the day, this book is really good. You get multiple POVs because, again, it's like a memoir. So we're basically seeing POVs from anybody who's interacted with Kate K or her other pseudonyms, which that's not a spoiler. We get all of her pseudonyms within the foreword, which is interesting looking back. I actually want to reread the foreword, having finished it now, because the foreword is technically dated past the end of the book, which makes sense. But yeah, it is interesting. We definitely get to see our main character grow up. I don't know. I feel mixed feelings about her. I think on one hand, I understand her. I think on one hand, I feel a little bit of resentment towards her, and I don't understand some of the choices that she made. I'm a little scrambled because I'm like still processing it. But yeah, I think it was really interesting. I think if you like kind of stories about flawed characters and, how they're just human and they make really shitty choices and you have to watch them live with it. I think in a lot of ways, her punishment for her shitty choices was loneliness, and I think that can be a fitting punishment. So I think I don't necessarily seek any kind of like retribution for our main character, but I do think she's definitely flawed, and I think she knows that too, which is interesting. So I really enjoyed reading the different perspectives as well, because I think whenever you're reading in her POV, the way she feels is not the way people see her, and it makes me kind of want to like have my friends or like my family members like write an interaction that we had together from their POV and me read it, because I just feel like it's so interesting how different people perceive you to like how you perceive yourself. And I think that's like a very like prevalent theme in this book, is Annie perceives herself so differently than the way her loved ones perceive her. And I think that's where some of her faults come in, because she just like can't see all the great things about herself, which is really interesting. So overall, I really enjoyed it. I would highly recommend 3.75. Yeah, and I think that is going to wrap this reading vlog up. I know it's a little bit short in terms of content. We only kind of went through 3 books, and one was a little bit like half of a book, but I am kind of just getting my footing. I really enjoyed doing this. I am definitely going to keep filming reading vlogs. I think I'm going to probably try to do one a month would be my goal, but no promises. But yeah, we kind of touched on, A Kingdom of Flesh and Fire was the first book in this video. That was really good. I think I ended up giving that like a 4.25 or a 4.5. We've talked about Blue Sisters. That's a softie enough for now. I got about halfway through, so I think, like I said, I think I'm gonna maybe just keep it on the back burner, listen to the audiobook when I'm in the right headspace. And then yeah, Kate K. So that, like I said, wraps this reading vlog up. I so appreciate that you are here. I so appreciate you watching. As always, feel free to come join us over in our Fable Book Club, Bella's Book Babes. I think this month, or like a little bit over a month, because I'm going to make the due date the end of April to kind of get us on a monthly schedule. We are going to be reading Heavenly Bodies, which I'm very excited about. That's going to be a fantasy book, which I'm kind of in the mood for, so I'm excited for that. And then, yeah, I think that's it. I appreciate you guys being here. So yeah, anyway, do all of those wonderful YouTube things, like, comment, subscribe. My Instagram and my TikTok, all of those things are in my YouTube bio, so you can go find those there. Same with the Fable Book Club, that's all in the YouTube bio. So yeah, if you want to check me out anywhere else, please do so. Thank you so much. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.